Inverter.
Hi, welcome to clickmyproject.com. In this video will lead us to complete demo of cost optimization of Elasticity Cloud Resource Subscription Policy. In cloud computing, resource description is an important procedure which enables customers to elastically subscribe to IT resources based on the service requirements. Resource subscription can be divided into two categories: long-term service plan and on-demand subscriptions. There are different duration plans for long-term services to provide a better internet service by using cloud resources. Service operators will expect to make a trade-off between the amount of long-term reserved resources and that of on-demand subscribed resources. We propose a mathematical formulas to compute the optimal amount of long-term reserved resources based on the type of resource provided. The provision cost is computed and collected from user based on the service type and duration, which optimize service provisioning cost. Next, we are going to see the complete flow of this process. In this process, the user can able to providing the two kind of requested, one for on-demand services, another one for long-term reservation. For an on-demand services, there is any special registration is not required. In this one, the services will be monitored by that monitor engine, and that Kalman filter approach will avoiding that unwanted virtual machine selection, and we have to computing that fee for that user requested service based on the requested size. By using this service provision, we can able to provide all kind of services like word count, data conversion, data storage. If the user providing that long-term service means the user can providing that registration. In this reservation plan, the registration is one of the must authentication process. In this authentication, we have to providing that some passwords to user for login their account and utilizing that resources into their duration. After getting that reservation, the user can able to log in into her account. After that login, the user can providing that load input files. These inputs will getting from that user for that service utilization. After getting that input, we analyzing the resource availability checking mechanisms. Which resource was providing that optimal cost and optimal service for this user request. Then we have to computing that fees for utilization. At the time of utilization, we can providing that service provisioning based on the service type. Here we have to choosing three kind of services: word count, data conversion, data storage. Word count will providing that number of words presented in that file. Data conversion will providing that text files into their PDFs, and the data storage will providing the SQL file processing. Finally, we have to providing that evaluationary of each services on demand and long-term services. This evaluation will based on servicing cost, latency rate between the user to resources, and the resource allocation policies. Next, we are going to see the complete demo of this process. For this process, first we need to run that resource1.java to creating that first service provider. In this service provider, we computing that resource descriptions. It will showing your system overall size. Then we have to computing that resource configurations. So the resource attribute is stored in database successfully. We have to submitting this resource description to that schedulers. Then we have to running that another one virtual machine named VM2. Here also doing that same process. Now the VM2 data is also submitting to that main server. Then I move to that user package and run the home.java. In this page, the user can able to providing the two kind of services. First, I have to providing that on-demand services. So getting that confirmation message. Types of available services. Then I have to providing that service demand. So it will showing that each services demand. Then I have to applying that Kalman filtering approach to reducing the cost in that on-demand user. So the total resource usage will be 3,90,238.4. Then I have to applying that precedence option and I can able to using any one of services. For this demo I have to using that word count services. Then get demand. For this word count I have the demand as 5. Then I have to applying that browse option for providing my input. For this one I have to choose one file for providing that input. Then I have to computing that fees for this file. Here that amount will be showing 261. So I have to pay this 261 by any one of application. After providing that amount, the virtual machine will be allocated for our services. Before we sending the data, we move to that virtual machine too. And we have to running that receive job too. After running this, we clicking the receive job and move to the user page and send job to server. Then move to the receiver page, then click receive job. Now the job will be received from that user side. Now that user ID will be on demand request representing OD plus 250. I am giving the service request as word count. From that resource side I have to executing that services. Now the total number of words will be 423. So now I send back to the results to server. Then I move to user page, then click receive data. So the service utilization will be completed successfully. Then I move to that home page and clicking the reservation option. After providing that reservation, we can able to choosing that reservation option. So in this registration, they providing that automatic ID as 140. Then I'm clicking that services data storage. Then proceed. I have to choosing the plan for a week or month or 6 months or 1 year plan. So for this I have to choosing a monthly plan. Then I have to choosing the date for 13/4/2013. Then I have to providing my password as 111. Then I am clicking register. So after my registration they will providing that one amount will be a 21. So I need to paying that initial payment. This is a provisioning cost for resources. So after providing this amount, our data storage service for 1 month will be activated.